back to my channel. My name is Lena, for those of you who are new to this channel. This is my channel for more of a motherhood lifestyle channel. If you're interested in more of beauty and all of that, I do have a beauty channel. I will link it down below, and it's just Lena Marisol. But if you're interested in more of the motherhood lifestyle type videos, then you're in the right place. And for today's video, I'm going to talk about baby must-haves from 0 to 6 months. If you want to find out my must-haves, then just keep watching. Okay, to start off, I want to start off with more of like the really big necessities, dealing with teething, like sick stuffy noses, upset tummies, diaper rashes, all of that. These are the things that have ended up working for me. When you're a first-time mom, you literally try everything in the world to see what works for your baby. I honestly think that every time we went to the store, we were buying something new for him to make his life a little easier, to make our life a little easier. The first thing I'm going to talk about is something that was a really big necessity, and it still is to this day. It's honestly something that we end up having to use weekly. From the minute my son was born, he was really stuffy, and we were trying to find the best option for him. And one of the main things we use, I didn't put it in this video because I don't think like it's a really big necessity for everyone, but for him, because he was so stuffy, we do use a humidifier. But in order to suck those boogers out that he was constantly getting, we bought the nose Frida, and this thing works so well. Don't even like waste your money on those little ball suckers. Yes, it seems gross at first because you're the ones sucking out their boogers. And I'm really sorry if you hear my son eating, but he's eating. It just looks like this, and this is the part you put in their nose. No, the boogers do not go inside your mouth. There's like a little filter in there to stop them, but it works so well. No, your baby does not like it. Santi hates it. He screams every time we use it, but it's honestly the one thing that gets them out. And in this little kit, you do get the saline, but I seem to run out of that pretty quick because it was a really small bottle. So one that I'm using now, which works really well, the minute you spray his nose, the boogers just start draining, and it's the Little Remedies Saline Mist. Breathe Easy. The way the directions say is to like lean him over a sink and do it, but the way I like to do it is I like to just spray this in his nose and then use the nose Frida, and all his boogers get cleared. And this is honestly, like, out of everything I recommend today, this is like one of the top ones because we definitely needed this, and this makes our life a lot easier getting those boogers out. In the beginning, Santi was really gassy, and we were using gripe water. I think the brand we were actually using was the Little Remedies, but this one seems to work great, and it's the Mommy Bliss gripe water. I do have the original one and I have the night one. I honestly don't see a difference. I shouldn't have even bought the night one because they work just the same, but this really helps with his fussiness when he has gas, and it helps him pass the gas. But I highly recommend gripe water. Honestly, gripe water is just ginger extract and fennel extract, and it works wonders for when he's like super fussy. The next thing I'm going to talk about is diaper cream, because babies tend to poop a lot and get a lot of rashes. So the first one I'm going to talk about is something that I use the most, and you're going to tell because of how it is. We've gone through 2 of these, and it's the Boudreaux, I don't know how to pronounce it, butt paste. And with this, I literally lather on like a thick layer of it when he has rashes, and it goes away super easily. Now that he's getting older, his rashes seem to get a little worse, and I did get the maximum strength, but I feel like it's a little too strong for him. So when I do use that when he has a really bad diaper rash, it kind of makes it worse, and it's like a little too intense for him. So what I've been using, and it works amazing, like seriously, it's the best thing ever. It gets rid of his rash within like a few hours, and it's the Aquifer Baby ointment. This works so well for his diaper rashes. Not every baby goes through this, but I swear, I think that my son has been teething for most of his life. Like honestly, I think at like 2 months is when it started and it hasn't stopped since. None of his teeth have came through yet, but you seriously go through everything trying to figure out what can help them. I tried breast milk popsicles. He hates those. He doesn't even want anything to do with them. He has like the teething toys, like the banana one. I showed it in my previous video of what's in my diaper bag. He likes that. It works as a toy and helps him when he's teething, and he loves that thing. And you go through trying a bunch of different remedies, and the world we live in now, you're scared to try so many things because everyone talks about like what's not good for your baby, what's good for your baby, so you never really know what's good to try. And actually I discovered these drops. My sister told me about them and I just didn't know where to buy them, and then I had put on Instagram a few months back and I was like, what do you guys use? You fellow moms, what do you guys use to help with your baby's teething? And I really got recommended these. These are homeopathic and they work seriously the best. At first I didn't really notice a difference, but now the more that I use them, the second I gave them to him and he's teething and I could tell he's irritated by his gums, he's completely fine within minutes. It is the Camila homeopathic drops. They're these things right here. They seriously are the best thing for teething. They look like this, and with these you can use them every 15 minutes just until you can tell they're not in pain anymore. But these work wonders. You need these in your life. The next thing is for when they are a little bit older and you start experimenting food with them. I want to make a video on how I transitioned my son into baby food. He is still breastfed, majority is breastfeeding. We do like to feed him baby food and all that stuff, but I bought these off Amazon. I will link them down below. These are little silicone pacifiers with holes in the top, and I like to put two things that I have put in here is blueberries and bananas. He loves these things. I do have the mesh little pacifiers, but he hates those. He does not like them. And so when I bought these, I was a little scared because they're kind of similar. They're just like the silicone based, but he loves these things. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is how we swaddle him. So when he was a newborn, we honestly just used some swaddle blankets because he was kind of too tiny for the swaddles that I'll talk about in a second. He was too tiny for those. He wouldn't sleep well unless we swaddled him. So after we used the swaddle blankets, we transitioned him into these ones, and these are the summer infant ones. I had put these on my registry, so we ended up getting 2 packs of them, which were really handy because when they're newborns, they kind of poop a lot, they kind of have blowouts a lot, and so these were kind of being washed a lot. But they're just like these. I heard a lot of people don't like these because of the Velcro, but honestly the Velcro is fine for us. And they're just these little swaddles that you swaddle them in. They might have them in bigger size, but we did have them in the small medium. And the reason we like these is because they kept his arm snug and he couldn't really break out of these unless Mike was putting him in them, because I don't know what's wrong with Mike. He's defective when it comes to swaddling. But yeah, they worked really well, kept him warm. And these were the first ones that we used. And then we transitioned him into this one, and the only reason we transitioned him is because he started to roll over. And once they roll over, you want to make sure that you keep their hands out. And so we transitioned him to this one, and it is the Halo Sleep Sack Swaddle. And with this one, the reason we transitioned him to this one is because he wasn't rolling over all the time. So this one allows you to keep him like the last one if you wanted to, or you can pop his hands out because it's like a little vest and then just swaddle the rest of him. And these really help to replace a blanket because blankets can be dangerous sometimes. Sometimes they can pull them over their face and suffocate themselves. So these replace blankets and they work so well. I really like this one because it does have the top zipper to zip up, but there's sometimes when they're asleep but you need to change their diaper. From like 3 to 4 months, Santi peed a lot in his sleep. so we needed to change his diaper in the middle of the night. But sometimes you don't want to wake him up, and sometimes you don't want to take him to this take him out of the swaddle. And that's the only bad thing about this, is you do have to completely take the swaddle off to change their diapers. But with this one, it's really nice and it's really handy. At the bottom there also is a zipper, so you can just slip their little legs out and keep the top part still on. And sometimes he would stay asleep, sometimes he'd wake up, but it honestly worked so much better when you're like in the middle of the night changing a diaper, so you don't have to like undo everything just to change his diaper. So this one worked really well. I know they have different designs. This one's a very soft like blanket feel, but I know they have more cloth like ones like this too. This one's super, super nice, and we still use this one if he happens to like have a blowout in the next one I'm about to show you. But yes, this is a really, really good one, and it is cheaper than the one I'm about to show you. And the only reason that I bought the one I'm about to show you is because I wanted to see if it worked, but it didn't work, and now he just uses it because he just uses it. The next one is the one he currently uses, and the only reason he currently uses it because he's a bad sleeper, and I honestly thought this would work because you hear so many good reviews on it. And don't take what I said and say that my son doesn't sleep any better with it. This is the one he currently uses, and it's a nested bean. So in this front part, it is filled with little beans, and it's like supposed to be pressure for them, so they feel that sense of we're still there. It doesn't work for Santi. And I don't, like, honestly, I don't even blame this sack. I blame him. He is a terrible sleeper ever since his 4-month regression. He has not slept through the night. He used to be such a good sleeper, and I would at least get like 6 or 7 hours of sleep at night. And since his 4-month regression, I haven't gotten a full night's rest. But these ones are super, this one's super long. It's really, really long, like really long. And then it buckles at the top, and it has the zipper at the bottom. So again, like the last one, you can just take them out from this little, so it has another button right here at the end, and then you can just open this up and it'll open completely at the bottom, so you can just change them like that too, and you don't have to take off the full swaddle. The reason I'm still using it is to get my money's worth. Sacks and swaddles are not the cheapest, and I bought this hoping it'd work, and it didn't. So the next one is for more when you're out and you have a winter baby and you're just trying to keep them warm. We used these a lot. We have the ones with the hoods too. I can't find those right now. I think I put them away in his like newborn clothes, but they're just these really, really warm swaddles for them, and they worked so well. We moved to Colorado where Santi was born here in Colorado, so it was honestly freezing here up until I think May, and even then it snowed in May. So these were really helpful when we went out. The ones that we used to take out with us had a little hood, so he was completely covered, and it kept him so warm for when we would go places. The next thing is a very, very pricey item. It is probably the priciest item I'm going to show you today, and it was gifted to us by Santi's godparents. But it is this magnificent thing called a Dakatat. It's huge. I'm really thankful that we were gifted this, and if we weren't gifted it, I was gonna buy it myself. We have a king bed, and we co-sleep with Santi. We currently don't use it anymore just because he grew it out, and we could go to a bigger size, but we're trying to transition him into his playpen. But this worked so well from his newborn stage all the way till I'd say 4 months. He slept in this, and all we would do is put it in the middle of us, and it was a little safer. I know people say this is an unsafe bed for a baby, but it was safer when he co-slept between us. He didn't roll onto him, he couldn't roll off of it and onto us. It is definitely worth it if you're willing to spend the bucks for it. I know there's cheaper alternatives. I've heard good things about cheaper alternatives. If I can find those cheaper alternatives, I'll link them down below. But if you're willing to spend the money, definitely get this. Another thing I have loved since he was a newborn is a boppy pillow. not necessarily, I won't recommend it for breastfeeding, but instead I'm using this for breastfeeding. I have 2 of them. I have one downstairs and one upstairs, and this is just the one I have downstairs. It's a very, very soft boppy that I was gifted by a friend in Texas. So the first things we used it for was tummy time and just to lay him on here to watch TV on our bed, because our just to like prop him up there and just relax. It honestly helped him relax a little better, just being propped up and like being able to like see me, see Mike, see the TV, see everything. But we did use this for tummy time in the beginning stages, just to like get him to get used to tummy time, because that was like his least favorite thing in the world, and now he'll just be on his tummy and like it's nothing to him anymore. But now what we use this for is we like to put him on the ground a lot, because we're really working with him on crawling and just sitting in general. So now I do like to sit him, like lay this I do like to lay it on the ground like this and just have his back facing so he doesn't fall back and hit his head, because seriously, that boy is going to need a life-size hamster ball for himself, because he already bangs his head on everything, and oh my gosh, it gives me anxiety. But we really like this. It's been super beneficial to be many different things for us. Like I said, I did use it for breastfeeding in the beginning, and I mean, it worked, but it wasn't like the best thing in the world. And then we used it for tummy time, just laying there, and now we use it for when he's sitting and just to be around him as cushion. But I do recommend these. You don't have to buy actually the Boppy brand. There is cheaper versions, like go to Ross and find, you can go to Ross or Burlington or anywhere like that and find cheaper versions, because they all serve the same purpose and they work really well. The next thing I recommend, mine is apart right now because we don't have the top part on it, which hangs the toys, but it's honestly just like a, what do they call these? Like a jungle gym? A play gym? Like a play gym. And it's just this little mat, and it has like hooks to hook, toys onto it so they can like grab them. Hooks on the back to hang these poles that hang over it with toys. And honestly, he was so entertained by this and is still entertained by it. It has like the mirror that hangs with it, the elephant that sings. It has just a noisy toy, and he loved grabbing those. The day he could finally reach them, because he had this till he was like about a month old, and the day he could finally reach these toys was like his greatest day ever, and he was so happy that he could just reach them. I did have to take him down because he was just pushing him down by now, because he's already sitting up and it was hitting his head when he played on this mat. But it's super nice to have, even just to lay on the floor as another cushion for them and to be like playful with it. And like I said, you could hook toys onto it, but play gyms are really nice. Another one I wanted to get and I never got it was like the keyboard, the wall keyboard, where they can like kick it, but future reference for another baby. But yes, play mats, play gyms, I don't know what you call them, but these work really well for them to just lay on, do tummy time on, anything. The next thing we have is something that I technically looked at and kept my eye on it for the reason of being something that helped him sit and learn how to sit. So we used it for that in the beginning, and it does have toys and everything, but then we slowly transitioned him into using it for his eating. We would just sit it on the table and feed him from here. But this is like a little chair. You can honestly take this part off and just take this to the restaurant to be your own little booster seat instead of using like those stinky used booster seats, which we use. But this worked super well on helping him learn how to sit and like just having him sit and be in that position. And you can turn it rotates, so you're able to turn it. Sorry, this is really heavy to kind of hold and turn, but you can turn it and it has some toys on it, so it's very interactive for him to just sit there. And this worked out really well for, like I said, when we fed him. And if you know my son, he's a super attached baby to me. So even when like Mike and I are cooking dinner or anything, we could just sit it on the kitchen tabletop and he can play with all these little toys that come with it and be happy and entertained. I really recommend this because not only does it help them learn how to sit, you can use it as a booster seat, you can feed them in it, they can sit and just play. This has so many different uses. If you have a fussy baby who hates his car seat, this has made drives a little easier for us and it keeps him a little more entertained. This is just a toy to hang on his car seat. It has like little elastic straps and you can move it up and down and just hang it on there. It makes noise, see? It rotates. It has a little mirror, which he adores seeing himself. He is enamored by himself. He loves himself. But it has these noisy toys, and we've had this since he was younger, and at first he just liked to stare at it, and now that he's a little older, he loves just playing with it, and you can obviously hear him play with it because this is all you hear in the car. The next thing I highly recommend is just noisy toys. Santi has a huge obsession with noisy toys. This is actually just one I bought today, but he loves it for the sound, and honestly because he's teething, he likes the hardness of it. The noisier the better. It just keeps him entertained. His favorite kind of noise for a toy, this is his favorite kind of noise in a toy. He loves that. I don't know what it is about that. He seriously is obsessed. But this is also something that he loves, not only for the noise, but for the little teether things for him. He loves to chew on these. Another thing that he loves, I'll insert a picture of it right here, but it is his bouncer. When he was younger, he loved to just sit in that and just lay there and watch TV. It vibrated, so I think that's what he liked, and honestly that vibration would put him to sleep. Our family bought him a bunch of expensive, extravagant swings. Like, he has the Mamaroo. He used it for a while, but it's not what he liked. And then we got the bouncer that he has right now, and he loves that. I mean, he's growing out of it now, but I'd say seriously from 0 to 6 months, that's where he liked to be. It's a little harder for him to be in now because he rolls all over the place. But from the 0 to 6 month mark, he lived in that thing. Another thing I'll insert a clip of, he's been using it for about 3 months now. And I think he loves it so much that even when he's not in it, he still thinks he's in it and he still wants to jump. It is a jumper. He loves jumping. It's like his happy place. He loves being, now he's just become so much of a brazos baby that if I'm around him, he doesn't want to be in it. But he loves to just stand there and bounce his little booty away. So yes, I'll insert a picture of the one we have. Lastly, the one thing I do recommend is a baby carrier. This was honestly a gift for Mike from one of his friends back in Texas. It just looks like this. It's the Infantino brand. I'll try and find the exact one we have. I personally don't carry him in this because he's a big boy now, but this worked really well for when we were going to the store, when we went on hikes, anything. We really use this a lot, and it still works for like when we're trying to get housework done and he won't let us put him down. This is a good thing for us to use. And that is it for everything that has been really helpful. I say 7 months, but honestly it's been for 6 months. I've discovered these all under 6 months. My dog wanted to join in on the end of this video. I hope that a lot of these things are things that you go out and buy, and if you do, if you're a first-time mom or you're going to be a mom soon and you have a baby on the way and you go and buy any of this, please let me know. I hope things that I recommended are good things. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one. One of the biggest necessities, what?
I'm waiting for him. And action. Cut. Take 42. Action.
One of the babe, you're making it so awkward.
Cut.
Stop. his rashes seem to be a little worse. So, really, babe, now that he's... Oh my god, you're so funny. I love you. Stop.